Greetings family, I'm Toyin Agbetu. This is the Pan-African Drum, and today I'm going to be discussing why the Black Lives Matter movement matters in the UK. I'm pretty much perpetually angry right now. I'm trying not to be. I'm trying to get on with my life, do my family stuff, have fun, but madness just keeps happening in this world, and madness involving African people. I mean, there was a Melanie Phillips article, and I'll probably do a video on that, saying that the Black Lives Matter movement is actually making people racist, making Europeans racist against Europeans, and I'll definitely discuss that another time. But I want to talk about what happened to me yesterday. I'm cycling down the road and I see a group of young Africans and I'm thinking, okay. But then I look closer and two of them are just throwing fists at each other. They're fighting, serious fighting, blood, everything. So I get off my bike and I kind of run up to the guys and like, what's going on? And I intervene to stop. Now, there's two things that happen that I want to talk about that. I mean, the first thing that happened is that I stopped and I held back one of the guys. And normally when I do that, I'm alone, and so the other guy can start causing trouble. But yesterday, there was another brother who actually just got involved. So while I was holding off one guy, and I'm just being a bystander, another brother, he actually held the other guy. And I can't tell you how good that felt, that there were two men, and he was younger than me, he must have been in his 30s, two men, random strangers, seen our young children on the street fighting, and then we break them up. Now, one boy is got a bad mouth on him. He's throwing insults and stuff, and he's riling up the other guy, and they're throwing licks at each other. So I'm having to hold him by his hand, and the other guy's holding him by his hand. And then the bad boy, the one with the bad mouth, I shouldn't say bad boy, but the one with the bad mouth, he starts doing this like he's got a knife. So everyone's kind of like getting wary about it. So I'm saying, look, you need to just get out of here before the police come. It's best that it's me who stopped this instead of the police, because you'd probably end up something. And my guy is saying, well, look, I'm on parole. I'm trying to keep good, keep clean. I don't want the police involved, but it's him. Look at him. Every time I'm trying to walk off, he's just in my face. He's in my. So I'm saying, well, just ignore him. Ignore him. The other guy is riding up. He can see that I'm holding the one who's actually trying to do the right thing, and he's coming back. The other guy's trying to stop him. He gets on the bike, and then we hear a siren. Thankfully, he hears the siren. He jumps on one of those Boris bikes, and he's gone. It's actually an ambulance, not a police siren. So I can tell my boy, look, get out of here. You and your friends, get out of here, because somebody's going to make a complaint. I mean, I'm telling you that it's a serious fisticuffs. I had blood all over my hand and everything like that between the two of them. So he goes off and that's it, they're gone. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I give the brother a nod, the one who helped out, and I'm thinking, this is the kind of madness that we're dealing with. So you might be thinking, what's that got to do with Black Lives Matter? Well, the first thing I'm trying to say is that we need to be our own keepers. We need to look after our children on the streets. And for me, that was a positive progression to see that other brothers, or another brother at least, instead of just standing by and doing nothing, actually assisted. The two of us didn't even talk. We just kind of nodded each other and went our separate ways. That's how it's supposed to happen. So, twos. I was on my way to a meeting when I was cycling. I got to the meeting and I was late and I couldn't get in. A long thing. I was supposed to be there by a certain time to pick up a set of keys and etc. like that. So I was kind of vexed. But you know what? It was worth it, because I stopped these two guys. Maybe one of them would have ended up dead, who knows. So I go and see an old friend of mine. I'm cycling back home, and on the same day as I'm cycling home, I see another group of young Africans. This is all in Hackney. Maybe 4 or 5 brothers surrounded by beasts. Police. You know, what do you call them? The feds, I think that's what the young people used to call them. So I'm like, oh, Lord. So, okay, drop my bike to the floor again. Lucky someone didn't just jump on it and teeth it. I go across and I'm thinking, what's going on? So I asked the officer politely, so excuse me, what's going on? Just one of the officers has such a bad attitude, his mouth comes up. And he's like, I don't have to tell you anything, who are you? So I think, you know what, let me get my phone out and let me start recording this, because you know what, when you've got a bad attitude officer like that, anything can go down. What are these guys for?
No, he can tell you, he don't have to give you a reason. You're just a random member of the public, I don't know who you are.
These gentlemen have all been given the grounds for why they're being stopped and searched, and I have to tell you, okay? More than welcome to stand here and film it at your leisure if you want to do that, if you haven't got anything better to do with your time.
I haven't got anything better to do than being, watching you guys, making sure you're doing your job correctly, I hope you can hear me over the helicopter in the background, and I'm assuming that is a helicopter making all that noise in the background. Anyway, this officer makes... I'm under police surveillance, what can I do? No, seriously. This officer starts inciting the situation, so I'm filming and stuff like that. Once he knows the camera's on though, what happens, all the officers' demeanour change. It was like I was pointing a machine gun at them. The camera itself, even it was just my phone actually, because my camera was in my bag, it was just my phone, but just even having the phone on them, and initially the phone wasn't actually on. I hit the button, but I actually had something plugged into the headphones, so it wasn't recording, so I didn't even know. But just having it on, it changed everything. One of the officers, who, in all fairness, he was always polite throughout the time, he started reasoning with me. But that little feisty one, that feisty little one who was actually saying, well, I don't need to tell you, who are you, the whole thing, he kept on running his mouth. And I don't know, what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that I did lose my temper, because he put his hands on me and started pushing me. He gave you the grounds for why he stopped the search as well, right?
It's not weed from not being in the car.
What the grounds was that you thought that they were smoking spliff?
Don't look at me. I'm not searching anyone, am I?
Well, you seem to be...
Sir, yeah, I'm happy for you to observe, but can you just take a step back, please,
don't
so let
touch
us
me.
get on with our job?
I'm not interrupting.
I'm happy for you to observe. Just step back for me so we can get on with our job.
I am not
interfering. You can observe from a distance. You're interfering. The officers are dealing with people.
No, what you're doing is you're trying to be aggressive with me now.
You can observe.
So
you can observe at your leisure.
Don't push me.
Observe you're not being pushed. I'm asking you, please.
You're pushing me. You're pushing me.
Step back.
Don't push me.
Just step back. Give us some space, please.
I've given you space.
Okay, we'll just step back.
But don't push me.
What's going on?
But don't push me.
Don't kick off, please.
Don't push me.
Well, just give us some space.
You have as much space as you need. Don't push me.
Just don't get close to us.
Well, don't push me.
I've asked you like 5 times now.
If you
step back.
I'm over here. I have a legal right to observe you. Right.
I'm just saying.
Well, he's pushing me and he's being leery. No, you're not, and this is why I'm being polite with you, but he's being aggressive, passive aggressive.
Times to step back and you
I did step back. You pushed me.
This is fine. This space is fine. We're happy here.
You're more than welcome to film us from there or from that distance. It's just for our peace of mind, for security and stuff like that. Because obviously these guys.
Can you see how his attitude inflames the situation? Can you see that? I am calm. You're the one who's inflaming the situation.
No one was inflamed until you turned up and started being inflamed.
And I don't know why I lost my temper. Normally in those situations, I'm actually the voice of reason. I'm actually the one who's calm and mellow and kind of like, smoothing things out. But he kept on pushing me, and I kept on telling him, don't push me, and I started flexing when he was pushing me and stuff like that. And I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to get me just to thump him. And it was in my head. I actually wanted to give him a lick in his face. And I didn't. I let him push me back to a certain degree. Kept filming. Thankfully, the boys were released. I mean, they called up another police van. He asked for more police, and I think that's because I was there as well. One of the boys told me that they said that they suspected the boys to have spliff on them. They could smell it, but they're saying they could smell it when the boys were in their car. Did they give you a grounds? Did they give you a reason why they stopped you?
No, he has been given grounds. I can't give you the grounds.
No, I understand you can't. I understand you can't give me the grounds,
but he has been given grounds. Yeah.
Well, he's saying no.
Well, of course he's going to say no. He's not going to say yes, is he?
One of the officers was talking to one of the boys as if he knew him though. Like, make sure you keep yourself all right, and he mentioned his name. So it does make me think that, okay, they're known to the police. And I'm not for one moment trying to pretend that our children are all angels. But I am saying that they need to be treated with a level of dignity. Unless they actually go around doing violent crimes and they're actually, kind of being offensive to other people, they're being harmful to other people, they still need to have this right to actually just walk around on the streets and actually just enjoy themselves without actually having the fear that the police are going to harass them and get involved in their business, into their lives, and treat them like they're scum, because that's what it was. One of the guys was saying this is really embarrassing, because as the police were searching them, and they were pulling their pants down, everything in the street, everybody was watching them. And I was the only one there advocating on their behalf. It wasn't like earlier on in the same day where someone actually came and actually assisted me. In this time, I was the only one there. Motorists were slowing down, probably somebody taking pictures, but they didn't really think. They just thought, negative stereotype, African males, police, what's going on? And so, why does Black Lives Matter movement matter to us in the UK? Well, it's because it's starting to get us conscious again. It's trying to get some of us who struggle with the idea that we can actually be discriminated by the police on the basis of our skin colour to realise that this is actually a truism. It's not actually a myth. I'm not saying for one moment that every single police officer is a racist. I'm not saying that. And I've had countless bad experiences with police officers that I could say that. But what I am saying is that there's a racist bias in many of the police officers. And like the little feisty one that was there, he knows how to rile us up. He knows how to get us angry. And when people are talking about, well, hold on, in America, when a police officer has a gun and he tells you to lie down on the floor or to pull down your pants or to stop talking or do something, and I would do what, because people say this, I would do what a police officer's telling me if it was me telling him. They don't understand it, they don't get it. You can be the most reasonable, calm person in the world, but when somebody puts their hands on you and starts getting in your face and you can feel a spit on your face and they're telling you, I'm a police officer, respect my authority, you know, and they're not showing you any courtesy and respect. You don't see that on these video footage. You don't see these in the Black Lives Matter articles where people are attacking the movement. When people do that to you, even the most calmest and pacifist of people can lose their temper. And I'm not saying they're going to lose their temper and kill the officer, but what happens is that officer can use that as justification to murder them. And that is actually what is happening. So I think I've been talking too much on this. I am still vexed about it all. It's a beautiful day today, but I don't actually feel like I've got that spirit of beauty in me right now. I feel that we kind of need to understand that there's so much injustice in this world today that everyone has to get involved in supporting these movements, not just African people, but everybody has to be involved in supporting movements like the Black Lives Matter movement. And we've got to be unafraid to talk up about our issues. Too many of us are too scared to talk about our issues. Those times have to go now. So I'm going to leave it at that. And I guess I'm going to just say, may the ancestors continue to guide and protect us. Ashe.
Go around your belt. Go. Bro, chill out, bro.